All right, we are all clear. We are live on YouTube, so we're by all means ready to begin, everyone. Welcome, welcome. Very happy Thursday to everyone. This is another Thursday installment in the Incognito AMA series. Let's see here. We do have, of course, the illustrious Matt BMP is with us, and we also have Joshua here. Let's hear from Matt first. Matt, how are you? How is everything?
Yeah, good form. Thank you very much. Good form. Good to be speaking with you, Jack. As always, thanks for your help this week. So I'll just run through what we can expect from Incognito in the next 7 days. Reasons to be in the Discord. Reasons to keep an eye on the project. The first of which is we have, after the success of the whitelist mint of 3D Frankenpunks today, which obviously Incognito holders were beneficiaries of whitelist spots for. We've had a number of requests for additional whitelist opportunities into upcoming projects. We're going to talk about one of those tonight with Josh, who's going to talk us through his project and the opportunity there. Further to that, I'll be announcing in Discord tomorrow whitelist spots to regular community members for a project which has been brought to me by one of our largest holders, one of our royal whales, who's very close to the founder of this project and who has managed to procure 50 spots on the whitelist. So we'll be giving those out tomorrow in the Discord. Furthermore, another of our whale holders has introduced me to a fantastic in real life physical artist who is taking a step from his successful physical art career into the NFT space and has agreed in principle to work with us on a collaboration basis for the next Incognito collab airdrop to follow the Pashimo airdrop, which is coming this month. So I'll be meeting with him on Monday to discuss the details of that, and in the following week, once we've got the Pashimo snapshot taken and distributed, we'll release the details of airdrop 2, which will be coming in February. So we're going to try and make this collaborative art airdrop process for our Nemo Plus holders become a monthly event. So we've got the whitelist that we'll discuss today. We've got the whitelist that I'll announce tomorrow. We've got the airdrop from Pashimo being done next week. We've got the airdrop 2 that I'll announce next week and will be done in February. And then over the course of the next 7 days, myself, Dynasty, and Jack will be sneak peeking the details of the Incognito Evolution series that we've been discussing at length in the admin channel, and which we've leaked some early details of to the community so far, but we'll go into a bit more detail over the next 7 days in the Discord around how that's going to work, what the advantages are to participating, why we think it's going to have significant upside for the community, both in terms of the quality of the collection and potentially on the price. And we'll go over that in some more detail. But for now, I think I'll hand over to Jack, who's going to talk to Josh for your pleasure around the project that he's been working on and the opportunity for our holders. So over to you, Jack.
Wonderful. Thank you for the introduction, Matt, and the update. Indeed, we have some whitelists on whitelist events. Big congrats to all the Incognito family that got in a 3D Frankenpunk mint today. That seems to be going well, really well. Furthermore, indeed, as Matt mentioned, very excited. Big shout outs to Pashimo for providing this very exciting art piece for a unique art piece for each of the big whale holder tiers. So yes, the snapshot I think is coming later this week. Look forward to that as well. But beyond that, guys, what else can I update you on in the server? Yes, Infinity Frames, just to give a very brief update. Everyone who submitted a request to the forum has been responded to, has got their animation, and yes, we're still trickling out the Infinity Frames little by little as well as Infinity Frames, I guess, fulfills our orders. What else do I have to add? Yeah, we have some other whitelists as well, guys. A lot of interesting projects, of course, approach us to do collabs or whitelist events, and not all of them are, I think, entirely suitable for our community. We do like to, really jive with other 3D art projects, and let me tell you, there's quite a few who are approaching us all the time. So it's very exciting to, of course, well, bring on one of the very first. This is, of course, coming from a fellow member. Some of you guys might remember Joshua. Josh, he was very involved with the project, in particular on Twitter Spaces in the early days of Incognito. He was very much flying the Incognito flag across many Twitter Spaces events. I joined him on a few of those, and well, he does remarkable marketing work. He does really great networking, and not for that reason. And he's also obviously a very intelligent, very nice guy. If you haven't had a chance to hear Josh before, we are going to be bringing him on in just a moment. And of course, he will be introducing his new project that he's working on. So, guys, I'm very excited about this. If you are interested in the Incognito exclusive whitelist for the Funky Penguins project that we're about to introduce, stay tuned, because later today, after the show wraps up, we will be updating the holders whitelist channel, I believe is called, in the server, with all the details on how to get onto the Funky, or the claim one of the Funky Penguins whitelist spots that he's so graciously extended to our community. So I thank Josh so much. In the meantime, yeah, I think Josh, you're with us, right? I'll be bringing him on, and of course, Josh. By the way, I am also, of course, streaming to YouTube as well. So I will be also presenting some images from your website and so forth as you speak on them. So there will be some visual aids on screen for anybody watching on YouTube live or the replay later. Big shout outs to you. In the meantime, I've said my piece. Josh, you're here. I'm very excited to talk to you about well, your project, and well, let's just get into it. You are here, right?
Hey Jack, thanks for having me on, and Matt as well. It's a pleasure to be here, and I do see a couple or three familiar faces, or I recognize you by your PFPs. And yes, as Jack mentioned a little bit, I'll do a brief intro about myself as well before we get started. And I used to be, Incognito was my first NFT project, not just to buy in, but also to advocate over all Twitter spaces. And before that, I was heavily invested, and I used to market for tokens in the crypto space. And I still continue working with a lot of fairly bigger projects. And yeah, this is my first project that I'm building, and I'm one of the co-founders of EcoPenguin and Funky Penguin. In addition to that, something else that I also do is I work as head of research for a fairly large YouTuber. His name is Craig Percoco. The channel name is called Never Trade, and they're a group of traders, and they occasionally invest in micro cap coins and stuff. So in short, that's about me, and I am very excited to present to you Eco Penguin Official and Funky Penguins, and I'll give you a brief about what they both are before I dive into the why, the problem, and what you guys will be getting from the NFT. So in short, Eco Penguin is crypto's first carbon offsetting platform. And it's meant for traders, projects, and investors, anyone within crypto that has a carbon footprint, or even outside crypto, to be able to offset using crypto. And this is the first of its kind, and there's no other platform that offers this the way we do. And at least that I know of. And the ones that do, you have to pay it in fiat or you have to be doxxed. So this is something that allows users, projects, and crypto to pay directly through crypto and get this done. And our platform specifically, what it does offer for projects is there's a green token database where they get listed when they offset. And for traders, there's a mint certificate that you can sort of well, it can basically be proof of offset. So just quickly, for those who don't know what a carbon footprint is, I'll just break down in very short. A carbon footprint is something that is a carbon emission as a result of a particular transaction or anything on a proof of work blockchain. And in daily life, other forms of carbon footprint includes, when you're driving a car or you're using fossil fuels or anything that releases carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. And it's not something that's a topic that's under the radar, like Ethereum's founders, Matic founders, Solana Foundation. All of these guys have been very open about crypto's carbon footprint and the need to shift to proof of stake to reduce that carbon footprint. So from that perspective, what our platform offers is, or the narrative that we're promoting, is fairly simple, that with Ethereum growing at the rate it grows, adoption is going to increase massively, and so is the carbon footprint for that particular reason. So what we're offering is an option for projects, investors, traders, NFT lines, creators to be able to offset it, and in some way taking responsibility for its climate impact. So this is the narrative of the EcoPenguin platform. And so far, we've gotten response from 4 to 5 projects which have already offset and listed on our green token database, and we have around 13 projects in the pipeline that have filled up the forms, and we're currently in talks with getting them listed, and a couple of NFT projects, which is going to be the first NFT project that's going to be offsetting through us. So the goal is to, well, promote the crypto space to go as green as possible, or support that narrative. So that's in short about our EcoPenguin platform, and that green narrative is something that directly contributes to our NFTs. Um, that's why I broke down what eco penguins are. But without any further ado, I'm just going to jump right into Funky Penguins, and that's our NFT line. So Funky Penguins is a line of 10,000 NFTs. Initially, we were not going for the profile picture, which is the general thing that everyone goes for. But what we're doing is a full-bodied 2D collection. And if you mint one, you get 5 drops. So Funky Penguins is obviously based on the branding, you can guess it's going to be the first line of eco-friendly NFTs, which has not just its mint, but also its further transaction offset on the blockchain. And what you get for minting a Gen 1 NFT is you get a minimum of 4 drops for just minting it. One of it is going to be the 3D collectible of the same one that you've minted, and then there's going to be the same derivative of that for the gaming and the metaverse, depending on which game or which platform we're present in. And obviously, in our own metaverse world or game world that we're going to be building, there's going to be a lot of utility around it. We're not going to launch, or I'm not going to give you out specifics just yet, but the ones that's launched, I'm actually going to pin a quick thread in the Discord chat, so you can see a few sneak peeks, and you can also see what it's all about. So you should be able to see it at the top of the spaces right now. But yeah, for minting one of our Funky Penguins, you're going to get 5 drops. Go ahead, Jack.
Oh, sorry. Yes, I was just going to interrupt and put that up, but yes, I see that you've already posted it to the wall. So yeah, please continue.
Awesome. So yeah, in short, we're working on, we have a couple of animators from Pixar, and so the entire team has not been revealed yet, and we were planning to launch towards the end of Jan, but we've slightly pushed up our launch, and we're going to be launching in Feb. Before that, we're going to be revealing our advisors, our artists, our core contributors, and well, a lot of people who's going to be working with the team, and it's a fairly large team at this point, over around 12 people, and we're going to be expanding even further as we go on this. Well, I'm not going to give too much alpha of what we're going to announce, but we have a lot in store about what we want to introduce to the crypto space. And as far as our NFTs go, if you buy a Funky Penguin, that is the Gen 0 one, you get 4 drops. Like I said, it's the gaming, the metaverse, the 3D drop, and the legacy drop. The legacy drop is something that's a surprise, and it's going to be given to users only who mint and who hold all the way until then. And the rest of them will get it at a discount rate if you hold a Funky Penguin. And for the public, it's going to be at a higher price. So all of this information of what you buy, what you get, would be revealed in more detail in our website, white paper. We even have a video and the Twitter thread that I've posted up here. So in addition to this, something else that's part of the Funky Penguin ecosystem is our support for creators. And the rest of the founding team are very, very big advocates of the creator economy. And we do believe that the creator economy is something like when YouTube first began in 2009 or 2011. It was heavily under the radar. And that's exactly what I think the creator space, or we as a team think that the creator space is going to be 5 years down the line. And what we want to do is encourage and help creators in Web3 build and get introduced and, well, in some way integrated into the space. And that's something that the Funky Penguin platform is also going to offer. And we're going to be doing that through the Funky Penguin Art Grant, where every month the team will vet all the people who have applied for the grant, and it would go through the holders who vote for them, and the winners of each month, which will be a minimum of 1 creator who would get approved for the Funky Penguin Art Grant. And that would include funding, research, marketing, and everything else that entails to list their first NFT or line of NFTs in the crypto space. And obviously, it's going to be done in an eco-friendly manner. So the Funky Penguin Art Grant is going to be something that's going to exist to support artists, creators in the space. And if you're someone who is very enthusiastic about pushing Web3 forward, this is something that you're absolutely going to love as well. And a little bit more about the utility of what you get for holding a Gen 1 mint is it's going to act as a pass into a members only club, and that members only club will also get access to further drops that we're going to do. And this doesn't include the collections drops, but the artists that we partner up. Now, if you recall to what I talked about EcoPenguin, it does create a platform that negates a huge problem that exists in the crypto space. But what it also does is it reduces the barrier to entry specifically for those people who want to come into the crypto space because of the carbon footprint. So we're actually going to be, as a team and as a community, going out and onboarding artists to come into the space, and they're going to be dropping stuff through our platform. And well, our goal is going to be not to get them to drop on ETH, but if they do want to drop on ETH, we will obviously do that, but they'll be offsetting more than they emit. But otherwise, we're going to be encouraging them to drop on proof of stake blockchains. So every artist that we partner up with, Funky Penguin holders would get first access to be able to mint their art or collection, and they can be an upcoming artist or they can be a very popular artist. And the one downside is going to be is if it is a popular artist, obviously we can't offer say 45% or 50% of their entire collection to one community. So it's going to be more on a first come first serve basis, or whale holders get first opportunity, something like that would be put out, and it would be given opportunity for holders to be able to get access to that first. And apart from this, we're also going to be partnering up with a large European brand, and this is going to be for our clothing, our line of merch. And that's also there in our thread up here. We're not going to name the brand yet, but we're going to be launching all of this information as we grow and unfold. And yeah, in addition to that, we already do have a lot of our organizational partners, 3 of them in specific. One of it is called Kota. They're a California-based NGO which offers our carbon credits. That's where we purchase it from. The second one is the Giving Block. It's the biggest crypto organization that onboards organizations from outside and allows them to purchase get paid in crypto in some way, and they basically get that to them in fiat. And the third one is the Giving Block. So currently, these are our 3 announced partners, or the ones that we're currently in talks with or collaborating in some form or manner. So yeah, in short, this is a very rough overview of what Funky Penguins and Eco Penguins are about. And yeah, now I'll open up the floor to any questions. And this is a very brief overview, and there's a ton of unannounced stuff that would be announced as we go along the next 6 weeks up until mint. So you'd be our second NFT community that we'd be onboarding into our project for a whitelist spot.
Wonderful. Yeah, I have to say, the idea of a carbon offset, because indeed, as you mentioned, there is a bit of a barrier. Obviously, many of the people are probably going to be listening to this right now. We're already heavily involved in this space, but if you've taken one look outside into the popular world around us, you notice that the crypto space, NFTs in particular, face a lot of criticism from Main Street. You seldom go on Reddit or another like normie tier discussion board, and you don't hear NFTs and crypto being slagged off for being horribly, polluting, right, to the environment and all that. This is, I think, a great way. I'm surprised, it's crazy to think this is one of the first, if not the first project to think of such a carbon offset project. But this is an absolutely great way because, as I just said, even artists, right? There's lots of like very exciting artists out there in the space, not so much the NFT space. That indeed one of the common barriers that they cite is, crypto, isn't that like really damaging to the environment? I don't know about that, right? But this is really a fantastic way to start assuaging some of those fears and provide artists who are, maybe a little hesitant about getting into the space on account of the carbon and all that. This is actually a great way for them to maybe guilt-free begin to break into the space. So I think as a result, I think Josh, you might have great success at attracting exciting new projects to kind of begin I guess tangentially launching alongside you guys. So this is really, really cool. Commend you for this whole project. I have a question here. Juicy Taco in the AMA channel on our Discord asks, how will my carbon footprint be offset by buying an NFT? All right. Well, I think one thing we have to clarify that eco penguins and funky penguins are like slightly two different things, and maybe Josh could explain where the two do in fact intersect.
Of course, got it. So, two things. The Funky Penguins is our line of NFTs that's built around our Eco Penguin branding. But how you offset your carbon footprint is not by buying an NFT. The NFT is something, it's a completely different ecosystem. And so, okay, actually, I'll drop one major difference between Eco Penguins and Funky Penguins because of the narrative that we want to push out about making crypto go green. Eco Penguin is a completely free to use platform. We won't be doing any advertising. If any advertising, it would probably be for charities or NGOs, and that's about it. And we're not going to make absolutely any revenue from our Eco Penguin platform. So if you want to offset your carbon footprint, it's going to be on our Eco Penguin platform. So what you do is you go on the platform. There's two things that you can offset as an investor or a trader. The first thing is your daily carbon footprint. By going there, you answer all of the series of questions. It's the regular way that every other carbon offsetting institutions gives opportunity for people to offset their carbon footprint. And the second thing is to offset your ETH wallet. And the reason it's your ETH wallet is because ETH is the only proof of work blockchain with smart contracts where you do, either DeFi or NFTs, and you basically put your ETH wallet or your MetaMask in there. It calculates your carbon footprint for you, and you can offset that on, well, any chain you want. And we obviously recommend people to offset it on BSC or AVAX or Solana, as opposed to offsetting it on ETH itself because of the gas fees, obviously. And yeah, that's how you offset your carbon footprint, and you get a mint certificate right after that, which you can post on your Twitter. You'll have in your MetaMask account, or well, if you're minting it on BSC, you're going to have it in your BSC wallet, but it's also going to be given to you in a PDF. So that's how you offset your carbon footprint. But Funky Penguin is an entire NFT ecosystem that's going to be built around the green branding.
There you have it. Wonderful. Let's have a look here. Do we have anybody who likes to get on stage? Feel free to raise your hand. We'll bring you in here to if you want to have any questions. If not, do drop them in the AMA channel. All right, let's continue. Excuse me, Josh. So what you're saying is the Eco Penguins is, I guess, I kind of I call it nonprofit, but you're going to be, I guess, minting certificates. So you'll have, I guess, in a sense, will you be minting kind of like NFTs to as carbon off? Okay, wonderful.
So I mean, once you offset your carbon footprint, what you do is you basically get that mint certificate for free. And well, I mean, you have to obviously mint it. It's just going to be the gas fees. It's going to be a free mint, but it's basically going to be proof of offset. And this is something that we're going to offer projects as well, right? That's something that projects can have in their contract wallet, or basically is going to be displayed there. And if you guys saw something very interesting, Twitter is introducing NFT verification. My vision, or the founding team vision, is going to be one day, if this, I mean, this is a narrative that's discussed every single place. If we can be the go-to platform for this, you're not just going to have investors, traders, but even projects put up that NFT for verification on their Twitter to say that, okay, whatever we're dropping, it's eco-friendly here. And I mean, that's going to be insanely crazy. So
Josh, do you mind if I just jump in just to clarify a couple of points? Just because Jack and I were lucky enough to spend some time speaking to Josh and his business partner earlier this week, and I feel like we got a pretty good insight into the company structure. So just want to make sure that everyone fully understands the nature of the specific opportunity we're offering to our holders. So there's effectively two companies here, right? There's Eco Penguin, which is a carbon offsetting NGO, for want of a better explanation, but it's a non-profit. They are allowing firms within the crypto space and outside of the crypto space to approach them, make a payment to them in order to offset their carbon footprint. And in exchange for that payment, the firm in question is able to mint an NFT which says, our company has used Eco Penguin to offset our carbon footprint. Here's the NFT that proves it. That's sat over there in Company 1. Company 2 is Funky Penguin, which, using the same branding, the same avatar, the same logo, is an NFT collection. That is distinct from the NFTs which are minted under the Eco Penguin umbrella. So the whitelist opportunity for our holders is to mint an NFT in the Funky Penguin NFT collection of 10,000. And in doing so, you'll be given a whitelist spot that guarantees you a place at the mint price. There's no immediate relationship from a business perspective between the Funky Penguin NFT collection and the Eco Penguin carbon offsetting business. The link between those two companies is that the carbon offsetting business will raise awareness of the brand by attracting big companies to the space, other NFT collections to the space, and in offsetting their carbon footprint using the Eco Penguin brand, they will become familiar with that brand, therefore become familiar with the NFT collection under Funky Penguin, and therefore that should drive interest and value in the Funky Penguin brand. So the specific opportunity here is a whitelist spot in the 10,000 collection of Funky Penguin NFTs. The secondary business, which is the Eco Penguin, is useful from our perspective for a branding thing, but it's not immediately relevant to what we're offering in terms of the whitelist.
Yep, that's correct.
That's-
Although, of course,
Yep, that's correct.
if there's anybody environmentally conscious among you, whether crypto trader, NFT trader, etc., project, you might very well do well by offsetting your footprint using the Eco Penguins platform. So yes, very eloquently stated. Thank you, Matt.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. I mean, everything that Matt stated was on point. There's just one specific thing that I'll add on to that, I'd say. One thing that ties Eco Penguin in a way directly is when we're going to approach artists, we're not going to be approaching it from a Funky Penguin perspective, but from the fact that we have Eco Penguin as an offsetting platform. But the utility or the art that they offer to us, or they mint through our platform or through our launchpad, which is going to be upcoming, is going to be available for Funky Penguins at holders. So that's the one link that actually ties very directly to Funky Penguin holders, or the utility that they can make out of the Eco Penguin platform. But yeah, Matt is overall right. Thanks, Matt.
Very nice. So I guess being that you're kind of conscious about which chain does what, is Funky Penguins going to be minting on Matic or Ethereum or BSC?
Yeah, it's going to be minting on Ethereum. And this is something that we've put a lot of thought behind, because as opposed to the green or eco-friendly narrative that we're promoting, minting on ETH is going to be the most harmful for that. So there's two things that we're doing to counteract this. The first thing is obviously offsetting more than we emit. So we've already offset all of our mint plus a good chunk of our transactions, and we're going to continue to offset that through our royalties and our mint, obviously. And the reason why we're minting on ETH is a specific reason that ETH still today continues to be the dominant blockchain, and for multiple reasons. Well, we've explored Solana, to be honest, and from the perspective of EVM compatible chains and projects existing there, like even the metaverse or decentralized sandbox, they're all built on ETH, while their operational layer is built on Matic. And from that perspective, we just think that from everything that we're planning to build out, ETH is going to be the most dominant blockchain. That's the first thing. And the last thing that we're offsetting or launching on ETH is, it doesn't make sense that we launch on BSC, but we offset ETH's carbon footprint because we have no presence there. And going out as a BSC project and telling an ETH projects to, come on board, offset us, like, take our example, it just doesn't make that much sense as well. So having a large presence on an ETH project and offsetting is in a way even going to set an example for all other ETH collections out there to be able to offset. So taking all of this into account, we just decided we're going to be launching on ETH, but there are going to be airdrops or free to claim tokens based on where we're present. Like if we're going to be there in a game on BSC, people are going to have an airdrop of something on BSC that they can use in that particular game. So
all right. Okay. So indeed a mint on Ethereum. All right. Well, that sounds, I'm guessing was somewhat costly to offset your entire mint or your estimated, I guess, mint carbon output, and a few transactions on top of that. I guess you're setting a great example. Okay, that sounds well reasoned to me. Makes perfect sense indeed. Ethereum, the leading platform, and I guess well, your first big project will be a testament to this whole carbon offset scheme. Very well, nice. Okay. What else do we need to add? Anybody want to get on the stage? Do let us know. Raise your hand. Alternatively, we did have a question from Panther in AMA, but it seemed like our last question certainly answered that. Direct value feedback from Funky Penguins to the people offsetting on Eco Penguins. Yes, this is like an amazing marketing opportunity, and again, it's great for, I think, attracting new talent, new people to this space, and then doing the way where I guess they can do it with a clear conscience. It seems like increasingly so, more and more people are concerned about the carbon footprint, I guess, before they go diving into things like NFTs, right?
Absolutely. And one more thing to add on to that, something that I didn't touch upon before, is to talk about the partner that's offering us carbon credits. The name of the organization is called Carbon Offset to Alleviate Poverty. And what that means is the places that they're actually investing in renewable energy is in the world's poorest countries. And there's a percentage of the carbon credits that you purchase that actually goes to these families and people that work there. And in that way, it's actually going to the poorest people around the world. And the reason that Plan Vivo, which is the world's largest certifying body of carbon credits, has approved this, and well, they're certified by them, and this is something that they completely get behind, because carbon credits is obviously one about removing carbon from the atmosphere by investing in renewable energy. But yeah, we're also heavily invested in the part about doing good, and the carbon credits that we're purchasing is going to be of the highest quality from that perspective.
All right, so no concerns whatsoever that this is going to some second-rate carbon offset operation. Sounds like you've partnered with one of the premier operations and doing a bit good in this world as well. We'll be offsetting in the region of the world where we'll hopefully, put some food on the table of some families out there. Much needed economic activity, I guess, going out, and even helping the environment in the process. Very nicely done.
Jack, do you mind if I
right.
just jump in and just ask Josh a couple of questions on behalf of the community from a less altruistic, capitalist, hard-nosed Brits perspective?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I guess first of all, absolutely fantastic what you guys are doing. Meaningful, genuine way to affect change, not just in the way that the crypto community as a whole operates from a carbon perspective, but also giving something back at the same time. I think that's that's to be lauded. I think with that accepted, there's obviously the question on everyone's mind is, okay, so how can we make that meaningful from an investment perspective alongside, because this obviously isn't a charity opportunity, this is an investment opportunity, a whitelist spot in this collection. So is it worth just talking a bit more, Josh, around not just the brilliant impact that the company's having overall, but also the nature of the collection? So when you and I and Jack spoke, going back to Monday of this week, you explained that in the first instance, you'll be the recipient of a 2D NFT. In short order, that will evolve into a 3D NFT, which will be dropped. There'll then be metaverse utility, game utility. Why do you see this as being, putting aside for a minute the brilliant work that you're doing from a charitable perspective, why do you see this being a fun, meaningful opportunity from an NFT investment perspective?
Got it. So specifically, the value proposition of Funky Penguins for investors or collectors is, one, it's going to be a pass into a members-only club. And that members-only club presence, I'll just break it down before I get to the drops. But the first one I would say is actually holding an NFT gives you an opportunity to be able to mint from all the artists that we partner up with. And the truth is that there's actually a good number of artists that's outside the space that haven't come into the space. And one specific that I can point to is, I don't recall the name off the top of my head, but it was a Twitter thread that took off in the crypto space that talked about, I was offered $1 million, but because of carbon offsetting, I was not able to get it. So we're going to actually target artists like this, and every artist that we partner up with, you'd be able to get first opportunity to get whitelisted for that mint. That's the first thing. And the members only club will have multiple other benefits, which includes merch, giveaways, exclusive giveaways, and early access to our launchpad. And we're going to have some sort of a creators collectors ecosystem. And I'm talking about this from the perspective of, if you've spent enough time on NFT Twitter, you'd see that there is a widespread how do I say, classification of different photographers in one space, artists in one space. And there's actually no platform that actually brings people together from a community's perspective, right? So from a value proposition perspective, what we intend to do is actually bring all of these people together behind the idea of being green and eco-friendly, which is why we constantly keep emphasizing that. So being part of this members only club will actually give you access to a community which brings all of these people together, and a materialistic thing to actually show that we're headed towards this direction is me spending time on Twitter Spaces. And this is something that Jack knows about very well enough. And I've spent the past 3 or 4 months on the music Twitter Spaces, on NFT photography spaces, and these are all communities that we're going to look to onboard into one community and get them behind the idea of being green or eco-friendly. And so that's what it's going to give you access to in some sort of a creator collector economy. But direct utility, which the team is going to build and deliver, is going to be the drops, of course. So you mint a 2D NFT, that gives you a further 3D drop. And well, it's going to be either a claim or it's going to be dropped within the NFT, the exact version of which will be announced in our chat. The third one is going to be a gaming drop. We're currently in talks with a few gaming partners, and we're also looking on how we can build our own game. Our own game will obviously take a little bit longer if we partner up with an existing game and include our NFTs within their ecosystem, which would include you would be airdropped an NFT, or depending on the chain, if it's Matic or BSC, we'd obviously airdrop it to you, and it would have in-game utility within that specific ecosystem or others. That's our gaming token. And within the metaverse, it's obviously we're going to airdrop wearables, and we're going to also have a metaverse presence, which is something that I can't elaborate in depth about, but we're going to launch a more detailed announcement, ideally towards launch or after launch, right after launch. And this is going to be what the exact utility within our metaverse is going to be. And this is something that we're completely open about, is we're not centering upon a specific metaverse to settle into. We're fine airdropping decentralized variables or potentially a derivative that you can use in Sandbox. But the reason we're not centering around a specific metaverse is, a year down the line or 6 months down the line, crypto moves very fast. So before we actually build something out and launch it, stuff can constantly change. So because of the branding that we're based around, and we actually are building out a brand, that's something that I want to emphasize on, we have room to grow. And from the metaverse perspective, we're definitely getting in there, but the specifics of which is going to be launched as we grow. And minting one will guarantee you a minimum of 4 claims/drops. And that's how I put it as.
Yeah, so look, always organising these kind of co-hosted Twitter spaces and introducing whitelist opportunities to a community is a bit of a double-edged sword, because we're not here to give financial advice. We're here to give partner projects the opportunity to talk to our community and community to make choices for themselves. But I wanted Josh to give you the outline there, not just of the eco opportunity to do good things in the space, but also of the reason why people might want to invest in this from a collection perspective, from a utility perspective, and for the same reasons that you would step into any NFT project. So hopefully that's given everyone a good outline. I'm obviously not going to give an opinion one way or the other, but the fact that Josh and his business partner were able to answer our questions so directly on Monday when we had the call with Jack, I thought felt right. It was the right thing to do to put him in front of our audience and give them the opportunity to hear firsthand the nature of the opportunity. So we're going to be putting some whitelist spots together. We'll have a list that Jack will manage as ever, as he does for all of our community stuff. There's also a second opportunity that I'll be presenting tomorrow to the community, which Jack again will manage. And Josh has been very, very generous in terms of the proportion of the overall number of whitelist spots that Funky Penguins are giving out in general, allocating us a generous proportion of those. So we're going to have room for the members of the community that want to participate. like I say, it's one of a couple of opportunities that we're going to be presenting to you guys this week. Do your own research, do your own due diligence. But Josh has been very frank and very forthright in his answers to our questions. And I'm sure if the community have any further questions, Josh, over the coming days, they can post those in the whitelist channel and you'll be on hand to sort of pick those up periodically.
Sure. If there's no other questions, obviously, you guys can decide how we want to move forward.
Fantastic. So unless anyone, I mean, we're always at risk of me rattling on for too long in these things, but today was really about letting Josh explain the nature of this specific opportunity. So unless, Jack, you've got anything further, why don't we wrap it up there, give the guys a chance to go away, do a bit of due diligence. Maybe Josh, you can post a link to any further reading that might be interesting for the guys and girls. And over the next couple of days, we'll put that whitelist together, aggregate the interest, go back to Josh with the number of spots we need, and take it from there.
Absolutely. So one thing specific I can tell, like if you guys join our Discord right now and verify using Collabland, you guys will be given an incognito role. That's something that I've just set up for specifically incognito holders, and you guys are welcome. And once Jack, Matt, and I obviously put the whitelist together, you'll be able to access the whitelist role on the incognito channel.
Wonderful.
Fantastic. Josh, thanks very much for taking the time to go over that with us. Jack and I will be in touch, but in the meantime, guys, we'll wrap it up there for today, and I will be in touch tomorrow with more details on this and the other whitelist opportunity. Thanks for dialing in.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Wonderful. All right, guys, I think that's going to be it for today. Sorry we didn't have a more substantial update for you guys today. I assure you next week, in fact, there's probably some cool things I can mention today, but we'll leave it at that. I will probably have more substantial developments to bring you guys at our next AMA.
Yes, Jack, I've just put a little sneak peek of everything that we'll be able to announce in the next 7 days into the general channel with a community tag, so everyone can go and have a look at that, see what we've got coming up, and Jack and I will be back next week with a more comprehensive project update.
Do check out that general tab, guys, for more information what we're going to announce soon. And keep your eyes on, because I'm going to, after we wrap up this Twitter Spaces, I will immediately head over to the collectors whitelist channel in our Discord server, where I will be posting, well, everything you need to know about the Funky Penguins whitelist. Thank you to everybody who joined us today. Thank you everybody watching on YouTube. Everybody's going to watch the replay later. Big shout outs to you. We'll be back in a week's time for another AMA. Much love to you all. Final words to Matt.
That's it from me, guys. Thanks a lot for the time as ever, and do make sure to dive